What? You would have to admit our lives would be easier if our bosses weren't alive.
You could fire Professor Xavier.
You mean Hank?
Creeps me out, rolling around all day in a special little secret chair.
I don't care how bad our bosses are. We're not murderers.
Oh, Dale, you know that I like to fool around.
Oh.
This is bad. Bad, bad, bad.
You know what? That's crossing the line. I'm in.
Okay, so let's do this.
We gotta hire a professional.
Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. Trailers that don't give away everything.
I know, right? Isn't that amazing?
I know, because in this trailer, you look at it and you're like, man, these bosses are so terrible. They're horrible people. They're awful, awful people. And then you look at the three main characters who want to kill their bosses in this, and these guys are fucking idiots. I was feeling sorry for these bosses. And, they're bad people, but I'm like, these guys,
No. Maybe because you're a boss, you might feel sorry for them. But even though these guys are idiots, these bosses are fucking evil dicks.
No, there's a difference between being evil and being an idiot.
Yeah.
Unless you're an evil idiot.
Well, the thing is, at least, one of those bosses does not in no way deserve to be in that category of assholes. I mean, look, just because a hot ass chick wants you to bang her like there's no tomorrow, I mean, I don't know if that should necessarily be put in the asshole bosses category,
It is funny because with each of the bosses, like they go out to show you just how evil these people are to make a case for why they should be killed. Colin Farrell, he takes over his dad's business and he's a cokehead and he hates everybody. He's going to spend all the money and ruin the company. And Kevin Spacey, well, he's Kevin Spacey.
He's just a dick anyway, because he can be.
And with Jennifer Aniston being that hot boss who's trying to sexually harass Charlie Day, there was never that point when you went, yeah, fuck her. But it's like, yeah, dude, fuck her.
Yeah, no, when
I don't see what the problem is.
In the most literal sense, people, let me tell you, you heard it here first. There's no such thing as male rape when it comes to a woman doing it to you, as long as she's fine.
Yeah.
Not ugly, look good, I don't want to hear that shit, all right? Yeah, man.
You guys are in so much trouble. I am telling your significant other.
Well, hey,
I don't even have a significant other, and I can't go with you on that one.
Well, when Roseanne Barr comes over to rape you, I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, okay. When that happens, that's rape right there. Okay, I feel bad for you then. Okay,
she might even be able to get away with being a man in prison. It could happen there. You're Roseanne Barr. That's right, little baby. Now bend over.
Bend over the bar.
Yeah, Roseanne Barr. What's that girl from Misery? Kathy Bates. Any kind of those people. You need some counseling, and I feel bad for you. That's not right.
It's a traumatizing experience. I imagine.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. No, that's just what should happen.
When she wants to fuck you on the unconscious sleeping body of your fiance, that's fucked up.
And
I'm sorry, that's fucked up.
No, Cyrus, you're absolutely right. And yet, there's still no reason you should say no to that.
And can we just cut to the chase right now? Somebody, please, Jennifer Aniston, you need to get into porno already. Just fucking get into porno, because after watching this goddamn movie, I swear to God, every time she was on the screen, half naked, I honestly thought, I'm like, wow, I'm about to impale and butter my fucking popcorn bucket right now. Because wow, I guarantee you, she's going to get a call from Brad Pitt at some point, going, hey, can I meet you somewhere real quick? And oh boy, I hope TMZ is there to photograph and film all that shit, because I can't wait.
It would be funny if he went to see this movie in the middle. He got up and went to the lobby, pulled out his cell phone, and called her back.
Hey, what are you doing, baby?
I really fucked up. I'm sorry.
I'm fucking a skeleton right now. Come on.
I know it's a script, but can you hire that writer to write all your shit when you come and meet me? Because I want you now, goddammit.
And she knows what she's doing. I mean, I've been talking about her like whining over Brad Pitt, but I think she's just stripping down more and more to just make him jealous.
That's exactly what.
If that's what it takes. I want to personally thank Brad Pitt right now. He's been doing cinema great service.
I think she's stripping down more and more, because that's just the point in her career.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Just cut to the chase and start doing the porno, please. You're going to be the most successful porno actress in the history of porno.
We are a few films away from a full frontal with Jennifer Aniston.
We are, man. You might not get a porno, but in there somewhere, about 2 years, there is a Playboy shoot, like a
fuck! I'll be dead by then.
A secret sex tape.
I'm sorry, but they only do the Playboy shoots after nobody cares anymore.
And
exactly. we clearly still care.
Then, goddamn it, people, we must boycott horrible bosses. You must tell the studios how horrible Jennifer Aniston is.
You know how many years I waited for Debbie Gibson to fucking take off her clothes?
And then when she did, you were like, what the fuck?
Not me, boy. I was like, holy shit, thank you, God. Debbie Debbie Gibson got ass on her, man.
Yeah,
Does she? Not anymore.
She
I
does.
just saw that movie she was in. She looks like Angelina Jolie, like all skeleton.
Oh,
Ain't shit going on
Mega
there
Shark
anymore.
or something.
Yeah.
Part 5.
Yeah, man, I tell you, that's the next step for Jennifer Aniston after the Playboy shoot, too. A couple years later, she's going to be in some of the Asylum film.
Hey, look, she already
Super
paid her
Turtle versus giant douchanoid.
She already paid her dues. She already paid her dues with Leprechaun, all right?
That's true.
No, that's how you start. You come full circle at some point.
Yeah,
you know.
at some point that leprechaun gonna be hanging around. Yeah, you'll be back.
I'm sorry.
Leprechaun
I mean, look,
Back in the Hood Part 3 with Jennifer Aniston. I can't wait.
She's 40 now. She's looking hotter than she ever has.
She is.
and she's still a A-list star. She's not going to do any of that. I mean, her window is closed. That's,
Shut up, Leon. We're trying to
we're
make
never gonna
something
see that.
happen here.
Well, you know what? We'll make our own movie where
Yeah.
we don't want to kill Jennifer Aniston. We just want to kill her career.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Leon, the Grinch who stole my Jennifer Aniston porn.
Horrible Bosses too. Right there. There's the plot.
There you go, man. Yeah, you know, I will say, like, yeah, this movie. I'll tell you why I like this movie so much, because it is the closest thing right now that we would get to a modern 21st century Three Stooges movie.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
it really
right.
was a
You're
Three Stooges
I mean,
film.
after this movie, it's like, do we really need to see that fucking remake or whatever the fuck they're trying to do with the Three Stooges
We didn't need to
anymore?
see it in the
because
first place.
I mean, well, because the thing is, yeah, you're absolutely right. You whispered over to me, and all you said was, "Man, this is the fucking Three Stooges." And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right, and that is why I am laughing my fucking ass off throughout this entire movie
See,
right now.
And I'm being serious. That's what the movie doesn't tell you. The movie shows you these guys plotting a plan to like kill their bosses, and you think like these guys, okay, they're kind of cunning. Even with Charlie Day, there, because we got who we have here. We got
Jason Sudeikis,
and
Jason
Bateman.
Bateman,
Jason
thank you.
Bateman.
and Charlie
and
Day.
Charlie Day. And Charlie Day is already a fool. We can see that, but we figured,
He's the Zach Galifianakis of the
yeah,
group.
Yeah.
No, he's the curly.
That's true.
He
He's
is
the
really the
curly.
curly.
I always thought of him as the Larry of the group.
Oh no! I see. I think
Oh, no,
the
he
other
definitely
guy-
is the
Jason
curly, yeah.
Sudeikis would be Larry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what he'd
and Jason Bateman is definitely a Mo.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. He could reverse it the other way because Jason Bateman is so laid back. Maybe he would be Larry. It's hard to
the
say.
logic of Stooges. And people.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
sure,
a class all
I'm not
itself.
sure I want to lay that metaphor on top of this.
I like how we're all thinking hard here right now.
It's like,
Well, for one reason, it's not as
Maybe
slapstick
he's
as the
a-
Stooges
yeah.
are.
We're
The slap-
professors of Stoogeology.
the Stooges are almost pure slapstick at points, and this really isn't all that much slapstick.
No. Well,
no,
it's
when-
really
but the
that
camaraderie.
You've got three guys with a lot of
Yeah.
camaraderie together, who have really great chemistry together, who are at varying degrees of stupid.
Well, see, that's,
who are
yeah.
caught in an
naive.
impossible situation.
all right, you know what? They're the Marx Brothers. All right, we'll give you that.
They're like that quintessential dumb white boys who keep getting into stuff
Yeah.
and thinking they know more than they do. Most of their education is from TV.
Yeah.
It's either from TV or sheltered education.
Yeah, gee, I don't know what that's like.
That's why I never worry about you trying to kill me, because you'll fuck that up
Yeah,
so bad.
I would. We'd probably end up trying to kill somebody else together,
Yeah.
Corey. as
You would end
well.
up killing yourself before you got to me.
I'd be like, "Come on, you're black. You must know how to do this stuff, right?"
But these guys, yeah.
He would get all his advice from Doctor Who episode. You know that would fuck up. There's no
You
such
go
thing as
into
time
the
travel,
future.
Cyrus.
Yeah, he tripped over his own Doctor Who scarf trying to get to me. But you
It
know,
is too. We're going to the future 1 second at a time.
yeah. These guys, man. The reason why I say I like the Stooges is because we've kind of evolved from the slapstick. Nevertheless, they go from that formula of like three guys hanging around each other, and together they come up with some of the worst ideas. Except they probably are never able to really put those into motion. But this is one time they decide to actually go through with this, and we begin to see just how dumb these guys are. They just how stupid these fuckers are, and that's what I love about the going into this movie. Because at first I was saying to myself, this doesn't make sense. I was like, why don't they just frame this person right here for sexual harassment? Why don't they just record threats from this boss right here? Now, Jennifer Aniston thing, I'm just like, why don't you just fuck her and just,
Yeah, right.
and just don't say anything?
That one solves
Even the other
itself.
two guys are saying that to him the
Yeah.
entire movie.
You know what? That is a hole, and you have to get past that.
And you
right
do.
from the beginning, because their problems with each one of their bosses are so blatant. I mean, these are not just jackass bosses; these are ridiculously over the top evil fucking bosses.
They are evil, yes.
and they'd be so easy to catch into a lawsuit against, or a civil suit or something. So easy, but it's really, you just have to go, okay, the movie didn't want to go there, so.
But it's
let's
movie
just
world.
pretend
It's a
knock 'em out.
comedy.
Yeah,
I'm sitting down in the theater eating my fucking popcorn.
Hey, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but also I think you guys, you have a higher opinion of the law than how it really works. I mean, there's not all that much you could have caught them on. I mean, Colin Farrell, okay, he was being discriminatory, but he owns the company.
But
so who
you know
turn
what?
him into?
Jennifer Aniston would have been so easy to just record.
She would have been.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why I just stopped, and because as it went on, I began to watch, and I was like, these guys are fucking stupid. No wonder they don't think about these things. And so I think that this movie is consistent within the idiocy that these guys, the universe that these guys have created amongst themselves. This universe of idiocracy, you know.
Well, you know what?
And that's why it works.
Consistent is a good word for this movie because this movie has what so many other movies I've been complaining about don't have. It has a science to it. Like everything that works logically within its universe.
Within its own boundaries.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Bad Teacher where it was just like a bunch of random gags kind of, sewn together. This had a plot and it followed all the way through. A plot that had some unexpected twists and turns. It had jokes every second. Like these guys were constantly talking and almost everything they were saying was funny. Like it wouldn't laugh out loud funny, but they had something constantly going the whole time.
It didn't waste any time.
No,
I mean, that's
no.
the thing. Like what I really loved about this movie is that it got to the point. It didn't waste its time, and the jokes were always funny. I thought.
It was, and funny enough that you missed a lot of them because, like I
Exactly.
said, they're constantly talking, and it made me want to see it a second time to figure out what lines I didn't get to hear because we were laughing.
practically
over the
every line
earlier
Charlie
part.
Day was, saying.
And you know and it makes sense why the bosses are evil. I mean, they kind of
Here you go, justifying the bosses. Again.
Well, no, man, I said evil. You know, look, I know why I'm evil, and therefore I can relate with these
You're like
characters.
that little girl wants to join the dark side on those internet videos. Come on, man. Stop rationalizing this.
No, I'm not. No, well, I'm rationalizing why they were bad people because the movie explained it. Like, if it didn't make sense to you, like, man, why are these guys like this bad? You know, it's because, well, Kevin Spacey, he's completely paranoid about his wife cheating on him because his last wife did. So he's just a miserable, horrible person. He just takes that on people.
Exactly.
And then Jennifer Aniston's character, she's like 40. She's horny. She's just she's
twisted.
She's just sexually twisted.
She's a nympho.
She's a nymphomaniac.
She wants to get fucked.
And she has a sex addiction. You know, she's older and she's just decided like. And really, it is kind of rape because when you get right down to a rapist power, she's this guy's boss, and it's just about making his life miserable. I mean, she could fuck anybody out there, and it's just like this guy that's telling her no. She's like, "Oh, you're not gonna tell me no. You know, I'm gonna fuck you."
And the thing is, Charlie Day does a great job of playing the victim. I mean, he really does.
Yeah.
And you can honestly see the fear, and like, I swear, there's a moment where I honestly thought he was gonna start crying.
And they make it make
he wants
sense
so badly just to be a sweet, normal guy.
Yeah.
And this whole like crazy sex thing impeding on his vision of what life is supposed to be like. He's like, help.
they make it realistic that like where anybody else would have just gone like, all right, fine. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to do this whether I want to or not.
It's the only way to shut her up is to put your dick in her mouth.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
and he resists, and they write it in such a way that
I'm
you
sure
buy
if
it.
we were all married, our wives, we could just tell them, like, my job was on the line, and how was I going to pay for our wedding or
What would
anniversary
you
of that trip?
have me do, woman?
I was supposed to tell the kids we can't go to Disneyland just because you can't get the stick out of your ass. Let me fuck
Exactly.
my boss.
Babe,
Come
I'm
on.
not going to tell these children they can't eat because I didn't fuck my boss, all right? Like, what kind of man would I be? I'm a provider.
Or of course, the old standby. Wasn't me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, wasn't my dick.
Wasn't me.
It's you attached to it in this picture. That's Photoshop.
Look,
shit.
if you didn't
that
come up
wasn't
and
me.
touch me, then you can't prove that was me.
yeah. And and plus it makes sense. He wants so bad to be married, and he has a sweet fiance. And even if we took that out the picture, I mean, as much as we'd say we'd fuck a girl that fine, she's fucking crazy, man. It was like,
Oh, absolutely.
I fucked that. I'm entering like a vortex that I'm never coming out of. That vagina is like,
So to speak.
That's what I'm saying. That vagina is a fucking, that shit is a wormhole
That's
that
a
you will
black
never
hole. Maximilian is waiting on the other side of that vagina.
Shit, you will see yourself being sucked into it. Help me!
You would have to pretend to be extra clingy to make her go, ugh, get away
No,
from
yeah,
me.
you know, I can tell you-
She'll fuck you hard like the Dark Crystal.
There-
She will suck your life essence out.
Exactly.
It seems like a good idea.
No, there's no turning back from that. Once you open that door of crazy, that vagina is a Pandora's box of insanity.
But you know good and well, even though you know all that, if you standing right there looking at it, right in its eye, you'd be
Somehow,
oh well, I guess I'm gonna take my chance.
it's like somehow the crazy makes it even hotter. I don't know what it is. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
No,
if only I had Indiana Jones like behind me telling, close your eyes, just close your eyes.
What'd you say, Dr. Jones is standing up there? Like, don't look at it, close your like, get the fuck off me, man. I'm about to fuck this right
now. That vagina opens and everyone's faces start to melt.
Throw me the whip.
From the vagina. But that would just be a bad thing there. And then the one, now this is a small complaint of mine. The boss that I didn't get to see enough of was Colin Farrell, because
clearly they did a lot more shooting with him and just left it out.
Yeah, because when you watch the end credits, there's a series of bloopers, and he's in a whole scene there that wasn't in the movie. And you're like, well, where was that?
You know what? I have to respect that they probably shot a lot of funny stuff and just looked at it and went like, you know what? Pacing wise, it throws it off.
I think we
got to lose it.
But you know what? After watching that footage, honestly, I mean, I was like, I'm kind of glad they did cut it out.
Yeah, they didn't need a lot of. I think there's a lot of stuff they cut out of here. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But Colin Farrell, he was the most insane of all the bosses, because he's the rich spoiled brat of the owner of the company, played by Donald Sutherland, who's not listed in not shown in the trailer, but he's also just this raging horny cokehead, and he's more paranoid than Kevin Spacey's character. He just says fuck it. Like, this is a company that the Jason Sudeikis loves, and the boss loves him, and he's like, I want to see this thing grow. We're being good to people. We're a green company, environmentally safe and friendly. And Colin Farrell's like, fuck pollution, fuck these people around here, fuck that fatty, fuck that handicapped person, fuck that person over there that looks like is making me nervous. He's like, I don't like any of these people. This is just a way for me to like make a lot of money, go off to the beach, and have sex with a lot of whores.
I can only imagine like a boss like him would be like if like somebody got Gollum and they fucking put him in charge of a company and all he wanted to do was fuck.
Yeah, if he was a Greek gangster, because this is kind of what this guy's life is like. His whole house is like, I mean, like, what do they say at one point? It's like being inside like a douchebag's brain.
Yeah,
or something.
like a sharper image threw up. Well, it just, I mean, they didn't say it, but I just got that impression. Like, for him, this company was the thing that kept my dad from me, and I've always had to, felt like I was lower than this. So fuck it, I'm gonna use this place as an ATM, suck all the money out, and then sell it. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
fuck everybody who works.
He definitely has some family issues too, or some daddy issues, because he was hating Jason Sudeikis' character. He's like, because there's a funny line in the movie where it's like, I know my dad loved you and y'all were tight, but that's a little gay to me. I don't understand that, but whatever. I was like, come on, man. But yeah, there's a problem. There's so many jokes in this movie that they probably did cut out a lot of scenes, including a lot of cameos that would have been in here. They talk about, this is directed by, what's the name of the guy here? Seth Gordon.
Yeah.
You know what he did before?
Oh, a documentary about the Donkey Kong game.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Really?
Fistful of Quarters.
King of Kong.
Yeah, wow. King of Kong. He
That's
also
a
did
great movie.
I love that movie. He did Freakonomics.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Didn't see that one.
Great.
Now, what made me nervous about this is that he did do one non-documentary feature, at least one that I know of, and that was Four Christmases, which I thought was like not all that great.
Yeah.
And he in this movie, I think there was a scene that was shot with what's the guy's Mark Wiebe.
Oh, really? Yeah, what's his name? The guy who's the good guy of King
Steve
of Kong.
Wiebe, the guy who mastered Donkey Kong in his documentary. I think there was like a little cameo by him, because at the beginning of the movie they mentioned that they're going to Kevin Spacey's like screwing around with Jason Bateman, saying, "You said you weren't here late, so if you weren't late, then that must be something off of our security system. So we're gonna have to fire that security guy."
Oh, he was the security.
I think
guy.
he was the security guy. They never showed him. Yeah,
I barely glanced at the security guy. So
did they show him?
You saw him when he was coming in.
That was the guy from
okay.
A Fistful of Quarters.
Oh, okay. I didn't even like
Which,
movie
by the way,
trivia right there
By the way,
for you
people,
folks.
y'all should check that movie out and watch it. That
Fucking
movie
with the brain. Man, I was asked to give an assessment of this film when I walked out, because they do that all the time. And normally I kind of leave the exit, so I don't have to say anything. But
because normally they're terrible.
I mean, what am I going to say over and over again? But this one, I had a lot of stuff to carry out with me, and there's no way I was leaving through the exit. I came in there with a ton of food with me, and they asked me, so what'd you think about it? And I was like, I think about The Hangover 2 and how that was humorous. It was funny, but uninspired. And I look at this and think like, okay, this isn't the best comedy I've seen, but if you're going to go like as far as R-rated comedies with a lot of vulgar, gross humor in it, this one is a lot funnier to me than The Hangover 2.
Well, I would say the humor in this isn't all that gross. I mean, not that it have some of it, but it's what these R-rated comedies are now. They're a little raunchy. They have no problem saying fuck. They go like, hey, we got an R rating. Let's just go for it.
Love showing dicks now.
Yeah, this is more.
But this one doesn't.
There's no dicks.
Yeah,
no. I was gonna say this is a new R-rated comedy with no dicks,
no nudity,
no nudity at all. I can't believe it.
That's always a plus in my book. Yeah.
There's no gross out jokes.
Yeah, no gross out jokes. No
it was
shit
just
jokes.
language.
I would say that there is one, and it's not. The thing is, it's not graphic.
Oh, yeah,
there's a lot of there's a scene in the bathroom where somebody uses stuff to
But
stick in the ass.
Even that. I mean, they cut away. A lot of these movies nowadays, they would put a camera inside his ass.
Yeah.
Just
What I'm saying is, it's gross out humor, but it's not graphic.
But this movie doesn't go for shock value.
No, it doesn't.
It's not lazy. And the thing is, of all these R-rated comedies we've been getting, because ever since The Hangover broke the bank, everybody's trying to do that, especially this season. This to me was the best one.
Yeah, I think of the recent crop, and I mean of the past quite a few years of the hard R-rated comedies, this is really one of the best ones. Following up on maybe even since the 40-Year-Old Virgin, really. I'm like, this was one that consistently made me laugh. In fact, with building, laughing more and more as you get to really like these characters as it goes on. Like I said, didn't go for the gross out jokes, and its plot actually within its own universe, mind you, not in our world, made sense in and of itself. You're like, wow, this is an interesting story, and I would not have been able to predict a lot of the things that happened within it. There's several surprises, which is the last thing you expect from comedies these days.
Oh yeah, I mean, after watching Bad Teacher, which I pretty much I thought it was enjoyable,
I like Bad Teacher,
and
but-
Hangover 2, I was like, after watching this movie, I was like, wow, I kind of feel bad for giving the ratings I did on those movies because, wow, this kind of blows both of those movies out of the water for me. And I think it had more to do with the camaraderie of those three guys and just how, it's one of those movies where, I like watching comedies where I'm like, you know what? I can easily hang out with those guys. And
you kind of do, really.
Well, thanks. I consider that a compliment. But I'm like, man, I could watch this over and over again. And it's like, I feel like these guys have been friends for a really long time. Yeah. And just the situation itself is funny to where even the bosses are as insane as they are. They definitely have their funny ass moments, especially when they're being like the biggest dicks. If you can be a dick and make me laugh, I like you, But the thing is, I honestly, watching this movie, this is the first time that I've seen a movie that I could say could easily be like right up there with Office Space, which I fucking love. Yeah. And just because of the situation, the timing of it, the timing of the jokes, I mean, and just the scenario itself. I mean, it's one of those movies that I would easily say it's right up there with.
Well, a lot of
Office
people
Space.
gonna compare this to 9 to 5. If you remember that movie.
Well, that's what I kept thinking from watching the trailer.
Oh,
wow.
I was just different from 9 to 5.
Surprised
But
you
you
said
watch
that.
it, it's like, oh wow, it's way different.
Well, a lot of people our age are going to compare it to 9
I
to
know,
5.
it's like, I don't think
I don't
anybody
know if
can-
a lot of people in general.
Yeah, that is true. But a lot of people who see this who are our age will remember 9 to 5 and think like, all right, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. It's a similar theme.
You're right.
And they had even mentioned one time talking about making a sequel to 9 to 5 with the girls, and that it was Dolly Parton and
There was a TV series.
Lily Tomlin,
Lily Tomlin, yeah, and somebody
Jane Fonda.
There, Jane Fonda is like, oh, it'd be cool if you saw these
right, there
women
was a TV
years
series.
later as bosses and becoming the biggest bitches because they forgot what they had.
This movie, if they replaced the movie with women, this would have easily been
Yeah,
that movie.
and
Which I love. I love that movie, by the way.
Except for that movie, Dabney had one boss in common. That was Dabney Coleman as the evil boss, and in this one, they all have their own separate evil bosses. But I think what makes you mentioned the camaraderie with those characters, and what makes it work is that while these characters are dumb, then they don't carry it too far with their ignorance. They're
not retarded.
No, they're not. No,
They make dumb,
they're
normal mistakes.
Yeah, they're naive.
They're extremely naive.
Like you can tell that they've lived somewhat sheltered lives and they function well within that. Once they leave that and step into a black bar, it's amazing that they will walk out alive. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
great. One of the
great
funniest
couple
parts
cameos
about
in
the
here.
film.
I'm glad that Ray has managed to keep him from doing any kind of stereotypical roles now.
Well, actually, he was actually drinking in that bar, and they decided to film some scenes.
Right.
With
Yeah, man. He was. It's like a lot of people might actually. Then I doubt they will. But if you want to complain about this movie, like making black people look not very smart, you got to look at how these guys just get totally taken when they go into a black bar.
Oh,
and look.
yeah.
I mean, they just. I mean, and Jamie Foxx.
It totally pays off.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
And the more you see Jamie Foxx interact with
As
these guys,
Motherfucker Jones.
I was gonna say that he's got a name called Motherfucker Jones. And when you see how he explains that name, and you see how he just kind of comes in and just cleans these guys out, man. It's he's not in the movie a whole lot, but
enough to be awesome.
Yeah, it's slightly above a cameo. And he is very funny in the movie. His character is very funny. Don't think that he's like a big solid character, judging by the trailer. Oscar winner. They're like, and Jamie Foxx, in the whole fucking film. It's like, no, it ain't like that.
I like Jamie Foxx when he's funny, and actually he was funny in this.
Yeah,
It was
he's
like
super funny.
good for him. Yeah.
He's a well-used character, and actually quite like linchpin to the plot. A lot of things that happen in the film turn on his minor role in it, and it's used to great effect.
Most killers are first-timers. You want to pull off a brilliant murder, you got to act like it's an accident. If you do it right, you ain't even got to be there when it goes down.
How are we supposed to fake 3 accidents?
When you stalk your prey, you got to be smart. Find out where they live, find out their habits, what's their hobbies, what they like, what type of food they like. Even if you pull it off perfectly. If you crackers got motives, the po-po, that means police, will still pin it to you.
We all have clear motives for killing our bosses, so this is not going to work. This is garbage.
Why don't you kill each other's bosses?
That's actually a good idea.
Not bad.
Yeah.
We're praising the movie, and it deserves all the praise that it gets. I mean, there were some things that just really did not work for me in the film, though. There's
Like what?
There is a chase scene in the
His
film.
pizza was too expensive.
Bullshit! That pizza was good tonight, man. Man, I walked into
all 3 of them.
He walked in pushing a food cart.
I did, man. Let me tell you, I just a little departure from the review, real quick, because y'all talking about it. I left the house. I did not have time to eat. I didn't have time to pick up anything. I went to the theater and I was starving. I ordered 2 pizzas. And I know it looked like in the shadows, it looked like I had a third one on my head.
No, man. You had these giant trays. You had enough food to where it looked like you were going to serve all of us.
Yeah.
I thought you were working at the theater.
You know what?
I know, right?
I honestly thought you were like selling popcorn, and shit up and down
Maybe
the aisle.
if you had more food in your refrigerator than condiments, it wouldn't be a problem all the time.
That is why, I was so hungry.
Look, I'm working here now, you guys. Spill's not working out. Y'all better get some jobs, too.
I thought, when it was dark, y'all wouldn't see me with my uniform on coming to the theater. Damn, all right, now y'all know what I've been moonlighting as to keep this site afloat.
I loved how he brought in his whole like pizza bag with him with like 2 pizzas, and he looked at me, he's like, "You want something?" He's like, "No, save me from your embarrassment."
That's what it had. I didn't want to eat those
Keep that shit to yourself.
Y'all caught me and made eye contact, and I had no choice but to sit down and keep my ruse by eating all those pizzas. I'm so full. No, I was starving, man. I brought those pizzas in. I was and I did have enough to serve all of y'all, but I wasn't, because I was fucking greedy and hungry, and that was the best fucking pizza I ever had in my life today. I'm talking about movie theater pizza, but anyway, this movie did not work for me in certain areas, because there was that once the chase scene. You see a little bit of it in the trailer. They have a scene between. Well, it's all in this one scene. They're being chased down by a crazy Kevin Spacey in a car chase. He's ramming the car. Charlie Day is in the backseat talking dirty to Jennifer Aniston on the phone. And for some reason, it just seemed a little bit too forced for me.
I actually agree with you. That is the one sequence, and it's supposed to be one of the high points of the film, like of the comedy, and it did seem a little bit forced. Part of what was bugging me was just that we get that Kevin Spacey is an evil son of a bitch, but there's a point that you go from evil to completely over the edge psychotic, which is what the movie suddenly has him completely become at that point. And you're like, wait, dude, like every one of these traffic cameras, which you've already established earlier in the film are there, would capture this happening. The results of the car with like bumps all throughout, it would be clear that he was slamming into them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, guys, like I can suspend my disbelief, but y'all are really pushing it.
Well, none of that made
I didn't
sense.
have a problem with it.
I mean, honestly, yeah. When I saw it, I was like, it wasn't like the highlight of the film for me, but by
Well, no, I
any
think
stretch.
they were-
But the thing is, it didn't bother me. It didn't take me
Not
out of the
even-
movie.
yeah.
Well,
not
I'll
even
tell you the
least.
other thing that reminded me of The reason why I would say it reminds me of a Three Stooges short, or the Three Stooges and their films and whatnot, is because it wrapped itself up real easy like that. It's like, okay, it was very transparent that we need to end this now. It'll work out this way, and we'll just finish up right here. I mean, it was a television show ending, and I don't mind that. The movie's funny enough to kind of look past it, but yeah, a little too obvious.
I didn't mind the ending at all. I thought
I didn't think.
I thought it actually.
Well, I did.
I did not. I did not want to see a Law and Order ending.
Exactly.
It's like all of a sudden I'm going to court trying to figure out. I'm sorry.
Hey, you like your job?
Shut
the fuck up.
I'm sorry. We see too many movies that just don't know when they've worn out their welcome. It's time to get out.
Yeah.
And for that, let's just reach the point. Like, look, timing wise, we're at the end. We know how this ends.
Yeah.
Guys, don't spend a lot of time.
You
on
are absolutely fucking right, and honestly, that is the one high point of this film is that when it's time to wrap it up, they fucking wrap it up. I mean, unlike Judd Apatow, who it's like he's filming like fucking Lord of the Rings fucking
comedy
endings, and I'm like, damn, dude, all right, let's end this shit. I got to do it. You made me laugh my ass off, but now you're starting to bore me.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Wrap it up.
Well, the other thing is, like I mentioned already, I wish, and it's kind of a complaint / compliment. I wish I could have seen more Colin Farrell. I don't.
Yeah, no,
and there's another part where the movie where I don't think that they used Jennifer Aniston enough. I think that her subplot kind of came lost in the middle a little bit. So I give this a very high matinee.
Before coming to see this, I saw somebody on the site said, like, I predict they're going to all give this a matinee. And I'm like, hey, man, you don't pull my strings. You don't tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me.
And for the first third of it, I was like, well, I'm liking this a lot, but damn, it is a matinee. There's got to be some way I could bump it up to full price. But the longer it went on,
Well, just so that one person would be wrong.
Yeah, and I was like, why would I? Wait, I can't let. If I do that to spite him, then he's still controlling me, and I can't let that. But as the movie went on, after it reached the halfway point, it was legitimate full price to me. I mean, really, I laughed. It wasn't like a movie I was just chuckling through. I was either laughing or laughing hard. And they have a running joke with a fucking cat that made me laugh
Man,
every
that
time.
was so funny.
The absurdity of it, and they knew it.
Oh, you know who they
knew how to
use?
work that.
They use our man D-Cat. You know that cat that gets the most work in Hollywood? That cat is getting crazy money in
Well,
royalties.
that cat's usually in horror movies.
Yeah.
I guess
that cat's usually in comedies. And one thing about the
yeah,
that's another the 100,000 in that cat's pocket right there.
yeah. But honestly,
price?
huh?
Full price?
Yeah, full price.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Leon, so I can verify that we were both like knee slapping, very literally laughing at
Y'all slapping each other's knees.
No, it wasn't that.
I thought you guys were just fapping it to Jennifer Aniston. I was like, man, that's gross, guys.
There, like most of it was like, you're right. It built as it went along because of the first half. I'm going, you know what? This is about maybe a matinee, a high matinee. It's good. It's just not great. But yeah, right around that halfway point, it really gets into gear, and you're like, I just every couple minutes I was like gut busting laughing. And how often do we get to see comedies like this? Fucking barely ever. I gotta hand it to this movie. It really pulled it off. Like I said, my only real problem was that one scene, and even that was just something that occurred to me for a minute. It was like, it's still funny. It's just not as funny as they think it is. However, this is a solid full price of a film, and I can say that without having being tempted by a site member to
Without being intimidated by somebody.
Exactly.
This fool was over here. How dare he predicts me?
Dare you?
Somebody screaming, pull the strings! Pull the strings! Oh, man. Well, you know what? I have to admit, this movie to me was funny as shit. And every moment, I was laughing at every damn thing that was happening on screen. And on top of that, I was getting the biggest fucking hard-on ever looking at Jennifer Aniston. But wow.
Please stop talking about your hard-on.
No, I'm about to show it to you in a minute. Just so
Smack
you
you with
know.
it.
You add that to the rating. But the thing is that, oh man, for the longest time, I've been looking for a comedy that just put me in the same mood that Office Space did. I can honestly say, and not have a second thought about this movie did that for me.
I got to stop you for 1 second, because I remember when we saw Office Space, we all loved it. You were the one guy who was like,
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I'm
Remember
absolutely
back
sure.
that far?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Because I was blown away that you felt that way, and the only thing I could figure was at the time you hadn't worked in an office. I was like, maybe you just don't get the jokes because of that.
Maybe
you must have
so.
gone back and seen it again and changed your mind. No, dude, I remember it because I was shocked.
I've owned 2 copies of that movie.
We all go through
Yeah.
changes as
I know.
the way
It
we
was
feel about
maybe
films
so.
over the
I was just
years,
like,
so.
are you kidding me? How did you not think that was the funniest
Are you
movie? You were
kidding?
like, It just wasn't that funny to me.
See, that scares the shit out of me because now I need to go back and look through the archive.
maybe
I'm
you
telling
know,
you,
dude,
dude,
archive.
if you could find that whole show, you would see yourself going like,
Are you sure that was?
oh, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely sure.
I like I said, I've owned 2 copies of that fucking movie.
I
All right,
believe you.
okay,
I believe you, but you didn't like it that much when you first saw it.
I guess you had to file
Regardless.
papers at one time or
I
something.
guess
You know, I don't know.
Maybe now, like 10 years from now, you look back at Horrible Bosses and you'd be like, yeah, it was just all right. You're like, bullshit. We have you on tape. You loved it. You gave it a better than sex.
Oh man, I'm kind of depressed now that you just said that. I'm like, wow, I was an asshole. But anyway, wow, this movie, out of all the comedies I've seen this summer, this is the one. This is the one who I tell people you got to go see this movie. I loved it that much. Charlie Day, fucking, I was a little worried about him.
I was too, because the way they've used him in other movies, especially him and Jason Sudeikis, where they just had him be like almost retarded.
Yeah, they know it's like, hey, just do your thing, just be stupid and go over the top.
And
with
here,
it.
all three of those guys are very realistic.
They work so fucking great together. The best chemistry out of all the movies I've seen this summer, as far as just people actors working together, they really all complement each other. So yeah, full fucking prize for me. I mean, like I said, the only thing not keeping this from not this being a fucking better than sex is fucking Jennifer Aniston just stripping down naked and getting like fucking
that would have been like
butt sexed all
much
all
better
through the
than
movie.
sex.
Did you just say butt sex?
No, I didn't say that.
You know we got that on tape.
Come on,
I didn't say that.
it's an open
This is a
secret
family
how
review.
co-host feels about butt sex. You just agree
Like
not
I say,
to talk about
Jennifer
it.
Aniston is getting something tonight for me, whether she knows it or not.
whether she's present for it or not.
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's pictures getting something from me tonight. God damn it.
You want to explain why you doing 61 in a 25 zone?
I was drag racing.
In a Prius.
I don't win a lot.
Ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good.